Around the third day of my extended fast, I realized something uncomfortable. I didn't actually trust myself. Not with food, not with discipline, not even with my own decisions. Fasting forced me to confront that in a way I couldn't ignore. I started experimenting with fasting to see what it would teach me about discipline. I expected hunger, I expected low energy, but what I didn't expect was how much it would reveal about the relationship I had with myself. I watched my grandfather go through a 42-day fast because he had cancer. And I decided I wanted to fast as well, and I decided to do half that length, and that was 21 days. I decided I want to try it because I wanted to lose weight, not because I was sick. I expected to lose weight because watching my grandfather, he went from this chubby old man to a very very lean figure in just 42 days, and I was always overweight when I was young and I was in primary school, and everybody made fun of me because I was chubby. And I decided I could do that at the age of 18 to be not exactly a supermodel, but that I would feel more comfortable in my body. Honestly, I expected the challenge would be physical, but very quickly I realized that the real battle was mental. What I mean by mental? Well, first, there were waves of hunger. Now, I was never really that hungry because I was fasting from the first fast that I had over 30 years ago. I was fasting after the Broy's fasting method. And the Broy's fasting method really never allows you to be hungry because of the Broy's vegetable juice. But I had cravings. And the mental side of the fast was, those internal dialogues that you have. It was like just a little small snack, and you had the negotiation. Nobody would know, you can start again tomorrow. Then the excuses came, and the excuses were like, this experiment isn't that important, and maybe you can lose weight in a different way. Hunger and cravings do something strange to your mind. Suddenly, your brain becomes incredibly persuasive. And the scary part was that those arguments were really reasonable. And that's when I started noticing how often I negotiated with myself, not just with fasting, but also in other areas of my life. When I woke up in the morning, I had an alarm clock set. And I noticed how many times I pushed that snooze alarm. And later, when I started working out, how many times I missed or skipped my workouts just because I didn't feel like it, and just because I said, oh, today is my first day of period. I don't want to go to the gym just because it's my first day of period. Or um, more important things that came also with this negotiation and my internal dialogues were postponing on my goals. I can do this next year. I can do this next month. Oh, that's not just as important as I thought it's going to be. And the problem was that every time I broke one of those promises, I was quietly teaching myself that my word didn't really matter. And that really, really bothered me because I am a person who, if I make a promise to somebody, I am going to keep that promise. And if I say I'm going to be there or I'm going to do something, I do it no matter what. And I was not keeping promises to myself. That really didn't bother me when I was 18, but it started bothering me the older I got. And coming back to fasting, there is this moment during a fast where quitting feels incredibly logical. I'm not just talking about, the internal dialogues, but quitting, physical discomfort and the doubts and the thoughts of stopping the negotiation with myself, when my brain says, no one would know if I stopped. I could just say I finished, even though I decided I'm going to fast for I don't know, 21 days, I could say I decided to stop at 18. And that's exactly what I did with my first fast. And that's when something changed. I realized hunger wasn't the enemy. It was just a signal. Just because I felt something, it didn't mean I had to act on it. Over the years, it's been 30 of them, I started to observe hunger. And not exactly hunger, but cravings. And there were waves. And I noticed the wave and I let it pass. I realized that I was still in control. And for the first time, it felt like I could watch the urge instead of just obeying it. And that's when I understood something important about self trust. Self trust isn't a belief, it's evidence. Every time I kept a promise to myself, I collected evidence that I can rely on my own word. It was every day that I completed another day of fasting. It was every craving that I resisted, every passing by a bakery with that fresh smell of new baking bread. And I just took a good whiff and I said, this would be so good to eat right now. But then I remembered I will eat it. 2 weeks when I start eating again. And with each decision I kept, day by day, the fast stopped being about food and it started becoming about integrity. Most people try to build confidence by achieving things in the outside world, but real confidence comes from the relationships you have with yourself. And if you don't trust yourself, every decision becomes uncertain. Now, I remember when I was still discovering what clothes I feel best in. Every person I went shopping with suggested something different, like my coworker or my mother or then my husband. But it was only after I cemented my preferences that I could tell them what to bring or what to look out for. But when I started keeping small promises to myself, something changes. What I liked, what I feel comfortable in, what I would like to look like, and what I would like to feel like when I was dressing in certain types of clothes. And before they just said, okay, you look like this, this would look good on you, or you need to dress your age, or nobody just asked what you would like to feel like when you have a certain type of clothes on you. It was really important for me to get to know myself that much, to know what I feel comfortable in, what I feel comfortable in wearing at work, what I feel comfortable wearing at home, or what I feel comfortable in when I'm on a trip with my kids and my husband. Keeping small promises to myself, I found out that something changed. I started waking up when I said that I was going to wake up, and I started to finish what I started. I started following through. My word to myself began to mean something again. So, what I would like to finish this monologue is that extended fasting didn't just teach me how to handle hunger or, in my case, cravings. It taught me that trusting myself isn't about motivation, it's about keeping my word when it would be easier not to. And once I started doing that, everything else became easier. So my wish for you today is, if you took anything out of this video, is that listen to yourself. See what feels good. See what feels right. And maybe notice if you are also doing the same mistake that I did before I started fasting, and it revealed this important flaw within my character. Are you keeping the word that you said that you're going to keep to yourself? Are you sticking to your goals? Or do you still have that internal monologue that is winning every single time and with every single emotion that you feel, and you don't feel like you would like to continue or stick to that result that you did? Think about it. If this type of video is something that you would like to see more of, drop a comment down below, and I'll be sure to make more of them. Until next time, I'm Anne Basswood. Thank you for watching.